Hi guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to talk with you about my stay-at-home reading rush TBR. So Ariel and Raeleen, who run the Reading Rush, which typically takes place in July, late July, I think, every year have decided to do a little mini version of the Reading Rush called hashtag stay at home reading rush, something along those lines. I'll link all the details down below. So it takes place from April 16th to the 19th, and it's just kind of a little mini condensed version of the Reading Rush, just to kind of bring the booktube or book community together during this like quarantine that everybody's in. So anyway, there are 4 different challenges as far as reading challenges go. There are also 4 different Instagram challenges that they have put out. So I am going to talk with you about what I'm planning on reading during the Reading Rush. So the first prompt is to read a book with a house on the cover. And so for this one, I have a couple different books actually that I have in mind for this prompt, but the one that I'm most likely going to be getting to is Anne of Windy Poplars by Ellen Montgomery. This is book number 4 in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I need to read this month as part of the read along that I am doing with Tia, and I will link that information down below as well. But we are on Anne of Windy Poplars, and I'm pretty sure that this building here is actually a church or a schoolhouse, but back in the back, way back here, you can kind of see there's a house. So I'm counting it. So this is the one I'm probably going to be reading. If for some reason things work out differently, my backup plan is to read I think it's called A Place for Us by, I don't remember the author's name now, but I'll put a picture up here. And I will be listening to that one if I do get to it. But that is the book that Krista from Books and Jams picked for her Goodreads read along group this month, and it's one that a lot of people have been talking about recently, and so it's on my radar, and it does have a house on the cover, so that would work as well. But those are 2 different possibilities I have for that prompt. The next prompt is to read a book in the same room the whole time. So read a book sitting in the same room. And I decided for this one that I would pick one of the books off of my Owls TBR, because one of my Owls prompts that I'm going to be doing is to read a book that is less than 150 pages. And I figured this would be a really good book to read for that prompt. So we're going to be doubling up, and I'm going to be reading The House on Mango Street. This is by Sandra Cisneros, and I believe it's just a bunch of different little stories about her time living in a Latino community in Chicago. But that's what I'm planning on reading for that prompt. The next prompt is to read a book set in a place that you wish you could go. And I am actually supposed to be going to New York, and my trip got canceled. So I decided that I would read a book set in New York City. And I already have one that I had picked out once again for my Owls TBR. I am doubling up on some of these because I cannot add more books. I cannot add any more books to my TBR this month. I already have way too many. So I'm going to be reading Towers Falling by Jewel Parker Rhodes. This is a middle grade contemporary book that is set in New York City. And it is about a girl who is homeless, and her family is living in a homeless shelter, and her dad is going through some major depression, and she ends up getting a assignment at school that has to do with 9/11. So that's been on my radar. I want to read it, so I figured that would be a good one. And middle grade is fantastic for readathons because it reads fast. Speaking of middle grade, the next one I have to talk about is middle grade as well, and the prompt for this is to read a book that will make you smile. And for this one, I decided to pick The Midnight Gang by David Walliams. This is one that I've talked about. It's been in a couple different videos of mine. It is fairly big, but the font is big. There's a lot of illustrations in it. I also have the audiobook out from my library, so that's always an option as well. But this just seems like it's going to be a really fun, lighthearted book, read, whatever. So anyway, I decided to pick this one. And then if for some reason that's too big and I don't want to get to that one, my backup plan for that prompt is to read Walking with Miss Millie. This is another one that was on my try a chapter tag that I did during middle grade March. And it is about a girl who ends up moving and starts talking to her grandma in with her. So she moves in with her grandma, and she ends up talking to her grandma's neighbor, I think maybe, but I'm not real sure other than that what this one's about. So, and this would count for house on the cover as well. But I figured this one will probably make me smile because young people becoming friends with old people always makes me smile. So, anyway, those are my reading plans for the reading rush. You can see it is a lot of middle grade. Like I said at the beginning of the month, I am planning on just kind of carrying all of my middle grade March books over into April. And so a lot of my April reading is middle grade as well. But I am reading some other things, adult and YA. I'm in the middle of some things right now, so it's not all middle grade, don't worry. But anyway, if you are taking place or if you are participating in Reading Rush this year, or if you are participating in the stay-at-home reading rush, I would love to hear what your TBR is down below in the description box. Also, if you've read any of these books, I'd love to hear your comments about them as well, as always. And yeah, other than that, I hope that you're staying safe and sane. I feel like those are two things, distinct individual things that we both need right now, sanity and safety. And so I hope that you are staying safe and sane both. And yeah, that you're just staying in a happy, lighthearted place during all of this craziness. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.